be running the amp kit. This is a 2020 1500 Duramax. I'm going to be using positive terminal here, and there's down in here behind the battery. I'm going to check out on the wall on the other 1500s. There's like a little almost like a nipple or whatever that sticks out, and you can cut that off and run your power through there. I'm gonna see if this has it, but it's kind of tight back there compared to the 5.3s. So I'm gonna find a spot in the firewall to go through and get this thing started. All right, so 3 Harmony Audio 10s and then 1 JL Audio 10. They're all single voice coil 4 ohms. And then ran off this Rockville. It's not the best quality stuff, but it should do the job. It's gonna be wired down to 1 ohm, and this it ran in the Camaro. It sounds pretty good. Doesn't heat up too much, and it's super small. So this box I got from Subthump. It houses 4 10s, and it's in a sealed box. As you see, there's an angle on it. I'm gonna have to clean it up, vacuum it or whatever. Also got, it's like an install kit. I'm gonna see if my plug's right, but it should plug in, almost a plug and play. So you can run your wires to your line output converter and not have to tap into any speaker lines. It'll come right out of there, out of your factory amp. And it'll delete like the noise that comes through the speakers. So that's pretty good. All right, so I have a light here, right in there by that. I'm trying to point and hold the phone, it's not working. All right, so right there, you see it poking out right in there. There's a grommet down there. All right, so I haven't put it all together yet, but I fed it through. I had my wife get her hand in there and cut that because I could not get my arm. It was all the way down to like there. About half, that's as far as I can get my arm down there. And so she cut it and started to weave it through. I took off these just pop off. These are just clips for that guy right there. You just pop them up, and then this one just pulls out towards you, and then comes out. It's hard to see up there, and you just kind of feed it down, and then I'm gonna find a nice spot. It looks like decent to go this way. It'll be all tucked in through the door, and right here, I believe, I could be wrong, I'm gonna double check, but I think this, it's either this or this, one of these two. I think it's this one, the gray. I think that's for your car audio, the amp, and then I have a connector that I showed you guys that's gonna go in there. So it's dark now, I ran out of light, but this is what it's gonna look like. Put the little cover over the wire there, and I zip tied it to one of the holes that the like clips go into, but I had to make it just a little bit bigger because I wanted a really thick zip tie on there. Supported it here, and it's gonna run through, there's already a channel there. It's gonna run through here, and this stinger is super like flexible, and I'm just gonna get it onto the post straight off the battery. So that's what it's looking like. All right, so I ran it, just tucked it right in here. It's a kind of like a perfect spot for it. We can tuck that all away. And I was wrong, there is no access to the amp, I don't think. I'm researching this stuff as I'm going along. I think the amp is on the back wall, and I have to take the seats out. So I'm gonna run the power wire, and then along this channel all the way to the back, and take the seats off. All right, so I took a break on this thing and called it a night. It was dark, and I was getting just aggravated, couldn't really see well. I took the headrests off, and then there's underneath, I already took them out. There's 10 mils, there's 4 of them that are underneath the seat. You can kind of see it right here. And there's 4 of them along the back wall. And this is, I'm gonna take off, I'm gonna see if I can leave the bottom parts on and take the wall off there to get access to the wall. I gotta take these out. And I watched a video, I guess you kind of sneak underneath here, and there's a tab, a plastic tab, and use, you know, screwdriver, flathead, or whatever you want to use to push that clip, and then the whole thing should pull out. And all 6 of those for the headrest. And then there's like a locking mechanism. I gotta find where that is. So there's supposedly in there, there's 3 like lock hooks. I'm gonna use like the little makeshift tool I have. Where is it? It's in this pile of rubble. So I put everything piled up here, and I wanted to check to see if that speaker box was gonna fit, and it did. Oh, here we go. So I'm gonna use something like this for my hook to get those locking mechanisms. Once I find them, I'll show you where they're at. All right, so I needed a free hand to do it, but this is down just like this one. The tab is right here. I pushed really hard on this tab using just a trim piece removal tool. So I snuck it in there and pressed really hard. I pressed it while pulling up, and the whole thing just pops out. All right, that took a little bit to figure out, but on these latches, there's 3 of them that go across. You have to really pull back on the seat hard. And then there's a latch like mechanism. And right here, do you see where that little hook is? You have to get a hook tool in there and lift up on that. All right, so once you do all 3, this one's probably the easiest. The middle one, I really had to pull back on the seat to see that little hook I just showed you guys. Then once you do that, you pretty much, you lift up and out. Okay, and then you get access to the back wall, and that's going to be where your stock amplifier is. All right, now that the seat's out, I dug my arm in here back through the carpet, and I was leading this one. I just lifted up, I didn't take the whole thing off, and fed it kitty corner. I got my power wire there, and then it's going to be all tucked away. All right, so I have the connectors that Subthump gave me. The one goes into the top, and this is gonna give me my, like, tap into my speakers without having to go into the door panels and do all that. And this is the, this is the noise cancellation right here. Whatever the active, whatever noise cancellation. So that's right in there, mixed with this. So now I can run my line output converter, and I'm gonna use the power that I ran to the battery. I'm gonna come off of this for the power for the line output converter. And I might catch a little heat for this because it's not the best ground, but I scraped it down. I scraped it down, all the paint off of it and stuff, and that should be okay. And then I scraped the paint off of the back of the middle module here. Whoa, dropped the phone. My bad. So I'm gonna mount my amp against the back wall here, and my line output converter here, and I already pre-sized it up. It's gonna fit well. Here goes the finished product. I'm working on, I have some grills, but I have to customize them to make them fit the speakers, but real clean, no wires showing. Mounted the the bass boost right here, bass knob. Ran that along the side and tucked it all in, so it's nice and clean.